Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. We're back with What If Minato Left Naruto Scroll with all of his jutsu. Part 2 actually. Sorry, the last part ended so soon. I actually ran out of space on my phone, so I couldn't keep recording, and I wasn't able to do my outro. But I cleared a whole bunch of stuff out, and now I have plenty of space, so you guys won't have to worry about that in these next few videos. But anyways, god dang, bro, it just keeps popping up. But anyways, let's get straight into it. Starting with the recap. So basically, it starts off with in the last, part, we had, basically Minato writing a scroll down, and Hiruzen asking him about it. The whole entire thing with the Nine Tails happens, and then at the age of 4, on Minato basically gave him Hiruzen basically gave him one of Minato's, he wrote down one of Minato's special jutsu because he didn't feel he was ready for the scroll. But then on his 5th birthday, he gave him the whole entire scroll, and he learned a few jutsu from it. These include the Flying Rising, the Flash Teleportation Technique, which is basically instant transmission, but you can only teleport if you can see it. And basically, yeah, so after, he also learned the imperfected Rasengan. He has the Rasengan that's imperfected, so it's weaker than, if he perfected it, obviously. And that's it for now. But he also, after that, Mitsuki. Oh, god damn. Well, that one guy convinced Naruto to steal the scroll to pass, and he ended up learning the Shadow Clone. But he also wrote down 2 jutsu that were in there, which are the Fire Style Fire Dragon Technique, and also the Gravity Technique, the Gravity Seal. Where basically, if he puts it on him, he can either lower gravity, to make it basically least training weights, or he can make gravity go really low, so he can. Or no, he can raise gravity. Sorry, I'm an idiot. Or he can make gravity go really low, so he can jump and all that, really high and all that. But he hasn't learned that jutsu. He ended up defeating Mizuki and almost killing him with a lucky pull off of the Fire Dragon Jutsu, and he's been training with it, but he hasn't. It's only around 30% of the time that it works. So, yeah. But anyways, he ends up going he ended up passing from Iruka, and they had that special moment. And he actually, after he ended up passing, he ended up getting on Team 7, and that's where we left off. Team 7 consists of Naruto, Sasuke, and Hinata. I'm trying Hinata out, and if you guys, don't want me to, then in my forward Naruto what ifs, I will put someone else on the team. But anyways, continuing on. Iruka says, Team 7, Naruto, Sasuke, and Hinata. This is, when Hinata's happy, she's got on a team with Naruto. And, because, yes, even though I did not mention it, that thing with Hinata still did happen. But anyways, continuing on. They ended up just waiting, and Naruto's still like kind of a prankster, but like he doesn't pull like major pranks like painting the Hokage faces or anything, just like small little pranks. So he ends up putting an eraser on the door, and Kakashi walks in and falls for it. But he tells Student 7 to meet him on the roof, and they all meet him on the roof. Now he tells them to tell them all of their hopes and dreams, and things they like and dislike. Sasuke says all of his emo crap that he says in canon. Naruto actually says that his dream is not only to become the Hokage, but the strongest Kage to ever exist. This is, when Hinata says that she wants to become a strong Kunoichi, and actually that she can't say her dream, that she doesn't want to say her dreams. This is when, like, Kakashi thinks, oh yeah, probably like another fangirl of Sasuke. When actually it's like Naruto, but who cares? He tells them not to eat breakfast the next day and to meet him right there at a certain time. So they ended up all going home. Naruto doesn't know about the bell test, but he does have like a feeling. So he eats breakfast anyway. And the next day he shows up, and Kakashi actually, Kakashi just like tells them to follow him to the training grounds, which they do. I'm sorry, it's probably gonna keep popping up. But anyways, so yeah, after that happens, they go to the training grounds, and Kakashi tells them about the bell test, and they end up taking it. Naruto, as Kakashi was telling him about the bell test, Naruto actually like patted Sasuke. He patted Kakashi on the back, and Kakashi was just like kind of surprised, but what he actually did was put a flying rising seal. And he ended up, after he put a flying rising seal, he ended up throwing he ended up going, god dang, bro, I yawned. Well, anyways, he ended up like hiding in bushes, and he made a shadow clone who just ran out of the bush and at Kakashi. This is when Kakashi, punched the shadow clone, but right as he was punching the shadow clone, Naruto teleported behind him. But Kakashi, heard, sensed Naruto's chakra, and, he ended up just elbowing Naruto in the stomach. This is when, Sasuke just runs out and starts, attacking, Naruto. Not Naruto, Kakashi. And, Naruto actually attacks with Sasuke. And that's when, Kakashi just puts his... Because, they weren't even, trying to work together, but they ended up doing it anyway. And that's when Kakashi just puts his hands up and says, alright, fine. You guys pass. This surprises, Sasuke, Naruto, and even Sakura. He says, the true elements of the test was to test your teamwork. And you guys definitely should include Sakura more, but Naruto and Sasuke's teamwork was incredible. So, because they were actually working well together, even though Sasuke was about to say, get out of my way, loser. But, yeah. Anyways. So they end up just going on a whole bunch of, low rank missions when, oh, god dang, bro. This is actually annoying how I'm just forgetting everything. But, yeah, when they go to the Hokage for another mission, sorry about that. But when they go on another mission, they're actually told, they're not told about anything. God dang, bro, I'm an idiot. But they actually, so Naruto says, "Alright, old man, can you give us a higher rank mission, like a C rank or something?" And that's when, Sasuke starts talking too. Yeah, there's really not much to chasing cats around the village. This is when Hiruzen sighs and says, "Fine." This is when Tazuna walks in. Your guys' mission will be to bodyguard Tazuna. This is when Tazuna looks at Naruto and Sasuke and Sakura and says, not Sakura, Hinata, and says, "Wow, I'm sure got a lot of shorties here. So how are these drumsticks supposed to protect me?" I don't know what that roast or whatever that was supposed to be. I don't know what that was, but it was something, I guess. And this is when Hiruzen just says, "Trust me, these are highly skilled genin. 2 of them are actually the prodigy of their classes." This is when Tazuna sighs and says, "Fine, but you better do your job." As he walks to the gate, they end up leaving, and as they're like in the forest, they see 2 puddles. Naruto, being smarter than canon, like notices that it's like the middle of summer, and why are there puddles there? That's kind of weird. But he doesn't, think about it too much. This is when the Demon Brothers pop out, and Naruto ends up using his flash teleportation technique and teleports behind one of them and knocks them out. This is when he teleports behind the other. But right before he can punch him, Sasuke comes up and just beats him up. This is when Kakashi confronts Tazuna about this and says "Yo, this is supposed to be a C rank. Why are we having tuning ranked ninja coming after us?" And this is when Tazuna finally admits to it and says, "Our village is poor and we didn't have enough money." Fine. Kakashi says, "I won't go back on the mission, but still." This is when they keep walking, and Naruto senses something, so he throws something at a bush. It ends up just being a rabbit, but it's a white rabbit. Kakashi thinks this is a little bit weird, but then he hears something. He yells, "Everybody duck!" So everybody ducks, and a giant sword just comes flying past them. When Zabuza jumps out and says, "Alright, you guys want to fight? Hit and miss technique. Hit and miss jutsu." And this is when, Haku appears, but right before Haku can do that, Naruto, just teleports out of the smoke and just says, "So you think that'll work on me?" But this is when Haku throws the Senbon, temporarily killing him, but no one notices. And, they realize that she's, one of those ninjas from the Hidden Mist who, take Rogue Ninja and, bring them back to, be killed or put in prison, whichever their village decides. But they ended up going forth and end up at the bridge, where Tazuna starts building the bridge, and Naruto just sits there practicing his fire dragon technique, which is an S rank jutsu, by the way. And he ends up practicing it, and it only works once, but he still did it towards the water, so it had 0 effects. But either way, he ends up working on it until they have to go to Tazuna's house. They end up going to Tazuna's house and sleeping, and then the next day, Kakashi tells them about chakra control. Naruto, being a slight bit of prodigy, basically masters it in an hour. And Sasuke just says, "Damn it, Naruto, tell me how you did it now." Well, like Kakashi said, you just focus the chakra into your feet, and faith in yourself, and you'll just go. Sasuke keeps training, and then eventually the next day, Naruto is sleeping, and Kakashi and everyone leaves him as normal. And then he wakes up and says, "Oh crap, did they leave me?" And he starts getting dressed. He takes slower than in the anime where he got dressed in 2 seconds. But anyways, he ends up just as he's getting dressed, he hears a whole bunch of commotion in the living room. So he ends up finishing getting dressed and goes out. He hears literally everyone screaming, your mom screaming, "Don't hurt him, please." This is when Naruto makes 3 shadow clones, and they all run out. They end up being, "What's going on?" and seeing the 2 guys. Then he says, and they both start charging up a imperfect Rasengan in one of the clones, and it says, "Rasengan!" And it hits one of the guys, just sending him flying back. But he does get up from this. This is when Naruto just throws a flying rising kunai at him. It hits the guy in the arm, and he kicks him, knocking him out. This is when he jumps off the wall and onto that one guy, to the other one guy, and he ends up grabbing a kunai and holding it up to him. But then, he just slices him with the sword. That's when the 2 shadow clones poof, and Naruto says, "I'm actually behind you, right?" And he puts a kunai to his neck. And that's when he just grabs the sword and knocks him out with the handle. He asks them if they're okay, and they say yes. And then he says he has to go get to the bridge now, after tying the 2 ninja up. He ends up going to the bridge, and after he's at the bridge, as he's on his way to the bridge, he notices a dead boar, but he doesn't think anything of it. He just thinks maybe some people were hunting. And he ends up going and at the bridge just to see a fight with Sasuke, Minato, and actually Kakashi. He's fighting Zabuza and Sasuke and Hinata. Sasuke fighting Haku and Hinata guarding Tajina. Naruto jumps in with Sasuke to fight Haku and ends up throwing a flying rising at her, and she dodges it, but right as she dodges it, it goes behind her. He teleports to it and punches her, but she dodges because obviously sensing his chakra. And after she dodges this, Naruto just does all that, and Naruto starts beating Haku trying to beat up Haku, and he's landing a few hits here and there, but Haku's dodging most of them, and landing a few hits on him. This is when Haku ends up making the ice mirror and just walks into a mirror, and a whole bunch of I forgot what they're called, needles or whatever, just starts shooting at Naruto. Sasuke runs and blocks all of them, taking all the needles. Naruto just says, "Why, Sasuke? Why would you do that?" This is when Sasuke actually says, "I don't know, I just moved on my own, Naruto." And he ends up passing out. After he passes out, Naruto just ends up gets filled with with the Naruto's chakra going into just the QB enhanced state, not One Tails, but QB enhanced, and he ends up just beating up Haku, and brings her on the brink of death. And this is when Kakashi is about to use lightning, pierce Zabuza's heart with lightning blade, and Haku just takes it for Zabuza, killing Haku. And Naruto gets mad because, Zabuza says he was only a tool, and, sadly, Haku's still a guy in the story. But Zabuza says he was only a tool to get what he needed. This is when Naruto, beats him up and says his powerful speeches, and, kinda convinces Zabuza. And this is when, all of Gato's men show up, and they ended up saying they're here to kill, Zabuza, and that Gato's surprised that he hasn't, killed them already. So, basically, dang, I am really yawning a lot. But basically, he says that they're here to kill Zabuza, and Zabuza tries running at them, but Naruto says, "Wait, I'm gonna try one last thing." He waves a few hand signs, and usually what will happen when you try attempting the fire dragon jutsu, it usually, after it gets up into the sky, it just disappears. So a giant fire dragon that's red with the orange flames coming off of it comes out of Naruto, and Naruto says, "Fire style, flaming dragon technique, or fire dragon technique," and it ends up just smashing into all the Gato's men and killing everyone, kinda setting the bridge on fire and destroying some of the bridge. Naruto ends up having to stay a little bit longer, and makes 100 shadow clones to help Tazuna. And once the bridge is almost finished, they leave, and Tazuna's thinking, what should we name the bridge? And he ends up coming up with the Great Naruto Bridge because Naruto basically saved them all. And they end up agreeing. And boom, the Great Naruto Bridge is born, and they head back to the village. Alright, well, I'm actually going to leave this off here. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye! Oh yeah, and, by the way, if you guys want this, to actually, get, another part, 2 more parts this week, get this to 15 likes. This is a guarantee. I really love this series, so either way, it's a guaranteed series, but, just get this, 15 likes if you want 2 parts, 2 or 3 parts every week. But anyway, see you guys next time. Goodbye!